Hey there guys, I'm Dan. I create travel and adventure style videos of my life as a long-term budget traveler. And today we're doing another travel stories video. So today we're talking about a pretty awesome adventure I had on the island of Vieques, Puerto Rico back in like mid-October 2018. So just a little backstory first. My first trip to Vieques was for 3 months in the summer of 2017. It was my first experience working in a hostel. I worked in a hostel called the Lazy Hostel in Esperanza, which is on the south side of the island. And yeah, I worked it for 3 months, and it was kind of like my first real experience with hostel living and working in hostels and kind of that whole environment. My time there was kind of cut short, actually, because Hurricane Maria came and I was forced to evacuate to San Juan, and then I rode out the hurricane there. That's like a whole other story for another time. That's not what this video is about. Today's video is about my return to Vieques 13 months after I left before Hurricane Maria hit. Now, I took a ferry over with a few friends of mine, like I said, Helene, Rita, and Donovan. Came down from San Juan, stopped in, we had a rental car, so we drove a rental car down to Fajardo, a town on the east coast of Puerto Rico. Dropped the car there and, met up with a friend of mine who I'd met at the hostel in San Juan a couple weeks earlier. My friend Josh, he owns and operates a hostel in Fajardo called the Caribbean Hippo, which is a really cool, sweet place. And if you go to Puerto Rico, definitely check it out. Anyway, we took the ferry over from Fajardo to Vieques, the four of us together. Now, we arrived in kind of late that day. I think it was like 6:30 in the evening, and it was just getting dark. But it was kind of like a surreal experience for me because I hadn't been back in over a year. And the three of them had never been to Vieques before, and it had been like kind of like a dream of mine for a long time to take people there who'd never been there before and show them around the island. So it was a really cool experience for me to finally get to do that. Like I said, we got in late that day, so that evening we didn't really do much. We went out to dinner and kind of just hung out and got settled in. It was the next morning we actually decided to get up, and I was kind of like I was like the tour guide for this because I'd been there before and I knew the island very well. So we went up to a place called Fun Brothers and rented 2 scooters, 2 people on each scooter, and it was just amazing. So it was Donovan and Rita on one scooter, me and Helene on the second scooter, and I kind of like just come up with places I thought were some of my favorite places on the island to visit that I wanted to take them and show them around. So we kind of cruised the scooters up to a place called Puerto Rico Lighthouse, which is a National Wildlife Refuge on the island. Went to the Puerto Rico Lighthouse, and that was just an incredible time. Beautiful spot, awesome views of the west side of the island. It's just incredible, and I highly recommend it. From there, I went to a beach called Playa Caracas, which I didn't take any footage of. Really beautiful beach, and anyone who's been to Vieques knows the beaches in the National Wildlife Refuge are just like spectacular. Some of the nicest beaches I've been to in my entire life. From there, I just remember we drove into the main town in Isabel on the north side of the island and got some lunch. Again, I didn't film very much. That's why I actually didn't do like a proper vlog of this trip, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I wanted to kind of talk about it and show the footage and the photos I do have of it. From the main town, we went to Mosquito Pier on the north side of the island, which is a really cool spot. You get amazing views of the east coast of Puerto Rico from there, and that was just fun getting to show them that area. You kind of drive out on this really long, almost like a land bridge that they built back in like, I want to say like back in the 40s or something like that. They built it a long time ago, the U.S. Navy. And we drove out on that and got to the end, hung out there for a while and kind of just, admired the views of Puerto Rico to the northeast, or northwest actually. From there, we ended up taking a scooter back off Mosquito Pier and drove out to the sugar mill ruins near Playa Grande, which is a really cool spot. It's kind of these old sugar mill ruins, like in the middle of the woods on the island, and you wouldn't really expect them to be there, but they're very well known. On the island, had some close calls with some horses on the way there, which is always fun, because the whole island is like hundreds of horses living on the island of Vieques that are just wild and just roam around. And then from there, we just headed back to Esperanza, back to the hostel, Lazy Hostel, where we were staying at and I was working at the time. And just like hung out for the rest of the evening. And we did go back to Mosquito Pier at night, and I didn't film anything of that or did any photos, but that was a really cool experience. You get to see the whole island of Puerto Rico kind of lit up with the lights and everything, so it's a really cool spot to go at night. Now, my main takeaways from this particular trip was, first of all, it was one of like the best, I think, times I had in all of my travels, and like, I've been doing this for over a year and a half now, going on 2 years of traveling, and it was just like so much fun. And for me to be able to go back to Vieques after over a year of being away and show some friends around the island and really show them why I loved it so much. It was a very rewarding experience for me. But I also like got some very valuable takeaways from going back after being away for that long. One thing I want to say, which I've heard a lot of travelers say, is that no matter like how amazing what place was one time you were there, never expect it to be like the same experience as it was the first time you went there. And I definitely had this experience going back to Vieques after being away for over a year, was that it was not the same experience that it was the first time I went there. The first 3 months for me was just so transformative because it was the first time that I really got out and was like living in that like hostile world, and really I kind of felt like one of the first times in my life where I kind of felt like that like true freedom of travel, and why I continue to travel is because of the freedom and opportunities it provides for me. I just can't get anywhere else. If you are going back to a place that you went to earlier on in your travels, maybe a year or 2 years or 3 years earlier, never go back having the expectations it's going to be like the same amazing experience that it was before, because although it may be good, it's not going to be the same. And that's what I learned going back to Vieques. So I had an amazing time those first few days getting back, hanging out with friends and showing them around the island. Once everybody left and I was kind of on my own again, it was like, it wasn't the same amazing experience that it was before. Now there are many reasons for that are more personal, but it's just like kind of the reality of going back to a place that you really loved is like, don't set your expectations too high for it. Just go back and experience it for what it is. Now I only ended up spending about 3.5 weeks in Vieques my second time around, because it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. The environment wasn't the same as it was before, and it wasn't really anything against the place personally. It's an amazing, beautiful place, and you do travel to Puerto Rico, I'd highly recommend going to Vieques and checking it out, because it's awesome. But anyway, I kind of took a trip to Culebra with a couple friends as well a few weeks later for about 5 days or whatever, and then I ended up just going back to San Juan for the last like 3.5 weeks that I had in Puerto Rico before flying up here to Colorado. I just wanted to share this story because to me it's like one of my most like, I don't know, like cherished memories of my travels, because it was just such an amazing time. Like that day, just renting scooters and cruising around a tropical island is just like an experience you'll probably never forget. So it was amazing, and just with good people and an awesome place, and I'll probably never forget it. If you guys do enjoy my content, definitely subscribe below, like the video, comment, I'll get back to you. And if you want to see more videos about my life as a long-term budget traveler, or some more travel story videos like this one, then also subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.